welcome back to Mission Accomplished, which is the podcast where we showcase the lives of people that have accomplished much and that you guys, both young and teenage, can refer from. He's from Sauti Sol. Some of you might know him. I know him. So tell us about yourself.
About myself, first of all, thank you. Thank you for having me, learn more. Yes, as you mentioned, I am part of Sauti Sol, which I think most people know. I am impressed Gen Alpha knows Sauti Sol, so that's a good thing. So I'm a musician. I'm a guitarist. I'm a producer. I'm a songwriter. What else am I? I'm a music director. I'm an author as well. Write kids' books. And I am a father of one handsome young fellow who's 4 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
So, is this what you always wanted to do?
Music?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Always, since I was, as far as I can remember. Because I grew up listening to a lot. Well, my parents used to play a lot of music at home. Music was my favorite subject in primary school. And then for our time, they removed music and arts and everything, so it really sucked. The syllabus was just maths and sciences, so it's so bad, I know.
I also like music, so I don't think I'd survive.
You can't, it was so tough. But then after high school, then I went back to doing music now, probably.
Okay, so do you have any hobbies apart from music?
I do, yes. I was going to say music, but yeah, music is a hobby that is my career. So I'm happy that that's the situation. I like to watch football just like you. Mm-hmm. I like to play football sometimes when I get the time. I love working out. So it's a hobby that becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Funny enough, I don't watch movies. I feel like I never have the time, which is weird. Because I know many people, their hobbies is one of their hobbies is to watch series or movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like hiking sometimes, and writing as well. Yeah.
Okay, so you said you're an author and you write books.
Yes.
So I've read one of your books.
Which one have you read?
It's called La La Land, right?
Yes.
First question, who or what inspired you to write that book?
La La Land is inspired by, so I did a project that was very wholesome. So there was music, and this project was around fatherhood. And I was writing the content for my son, directly for my son, but of course it inspires many other fathers and kids just like you. So there's the music part. So every song in the album is a book. So La La Land is one of them. So La La Land is just inspired by, you know how as a kid you dream so much because you absorb so many things in the world, and when you go to sleep it's like you just go to this beautiful place where you're dreaming of so many things that you can be, that you want to be or you want to do, and it's such a beautiful place to be in. I'm sure many kids look forward to just sleeping because they just go to another world. That's really fun. So I just wanted to show that, and in an African setting also, because many kids, as African kids, we don't have enough content
for us,
that is Pan-African. So that's the main thing. Yeah.
You're from Sauti Sol, for those who didn't know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you're missing out on amazing music.
You heard.
So in your band, there's always those people. Who would you say is the guy who, if you guys are just joking around, will be the party pooper, they'll be back to serious business? And who's the guy who is always starting the laughs in the middle of, say when you're recording, he's the one who's going to make everyone start laughing. Just have to pause the music and then just laugh it all out.
That's interesting questions. I feel like we all have our periods when we are serious. For the first question, when let's say you're saying we're cracking jokes or just talking and no guys, we need to refocus. I think everyone has a time period when they're in that zone. So I don't know, it's so hard to pick someone because we're always looking out for each other. So it's sometimes it would be me, sometimes it would be BN, sometimes it would be Chimano, the other times Savara. Yeah, and the other one was who's
The funny guy.
the funny guy. Oh my gosh, who's the funniest? I guess Bien would be, because he's spontaneous with whatever he says. Sometimes he can just say some weird, stupid things, and you're like, what are you saying? So he's very spontaneous, I'd say. But then also there's me with my stupid dad jokes also.
Dad jokes are not stupid.
Oh, then thank you.
They are legendary.
Oh my gosh. I love you, Lemuel. It's great that comes from a kid, because most kids, I'm sure, they're so tired of
It's between
from their dads.
A joke is either a pun or a dad joke.
There's no in between. Yeah, dad jokes rule. Dad jokes rule.
Yeah.
I have been that person even before I got a kid.
Have you ever met that one person who is just agitated when you say a dad joke, but then in their heart
they're laughing, they're
feeling it. Like for me, it's my sister.
Really?
Like I asked her this question: what do you give a lemon when it's hot?
When it's hot?
Yeah.
Let me think. When it's hot?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I don't know.
Lemonade.
I was gonna say that.
She was like, but then me personally, I know she felt it. She felt that joke.
And maybe she even used it.
Yeah.
You know, to her friends.
So I have another joke for you.
Okay.
What did the drummer name his twins?
Tom Tom.
No. Anna 1, Anna 2.
Oh, Anna 2. Yeah, that one. Anna 1, Anna 2, Anna 3, Anna 4.
What would you say? Do you have a favorite song out of all of the ones that you've produced?
Oh my God, yeah.
What would you say is your favorite song?
My favorite. I've done so much music.
It doesn't have to be one song. It can be an album.
So the thing with the favorite song is that each time, depending on what you're going through or what you're feeling, it just keeps changing. Oh yes, there's one that's just come out. It's about men's mental health. Yeah, so that one is my favorite. It's called Tears. Yeah, that's my current favorite.
Is there any time that you're just don't want to work anymore when it comes to doing music? You're just, even though you love doing music, you're just total
Yes, there are moments. That's a very good question, actually. Yes, there are moments, because music is a creative thing. It's not a 9-to-5 job where you're told this is what you need to do, blah blah blah. So music comes from so deep within that sometimes it drains you. So even for me, I was just telling Gabani how I was here until 3 a.m. and I'm tired, and then of course, yeah, I know, right? It happens sometimes. That comes with the job sometimes, because inspiration, you never know when it comes, and sometimes the vibe is so good that you don't want to stop. Yeah, because music is a moment.
Yes.
And once that moment goes, that's it.
Yeah.
But then there are times when you're very exhausted and you actually have nothing to give. Because music, you're just giving. You're just giving. Then at some point you're like, I need to at least replenish and give back to myself. And that could be now maybe going into your hobbies or just chilling at home or just taking it easy. And they're like, yeah, I can't do music right now. That's why some artists you see, they disappear for 3 years, 5 years, and then they come back and do music. Because it's exciting, it's amazing, but also draining.
So if your 15-year-old self would come to the future and see what you do now, what do you think he would say?
I think he would be very proud of what he, because he's in person, what he has achieved at this age. Yeah, and also the journey of life, of course, has, hurdles and mistakes, but then I don't think he would see them as I would have done this different or regret, because that's the journey of life, So it's just accepting the journey. So I think he would be proud. He would be really proud of what his older self has achieved.
What's your thought process in when you're creating a beat?
So let me correct you a bit. So I create music.
Oh,
yes, because beat is it's just part of the music, So with creating music, thought process is always very different. So there's times when and I've told people this, sometimes you actually dream of a song and you wake up, sometimes you wake up and you want to record it quickly on your phone or go to studio, or it resurfaces back even 2 days later. It's just in your subconscious and it comes. Other times, most of the times, it's also our life experiences because you want the music to be relatable to the people who listen. And they're also going through life the same way you're going through life. So if I speak about something going on in my life, I am almost certain that at least half of the audience are going through the same thing. So that's what I'm saying before, and I said it's very draining. It has to come from inside you to really dig deep and say, okay, I want to speak about this, and it comes out, So other people, that's how you connect with other people. They're like, oh, I feel this as well because I'm going through the same. So thought process now depends. Sometimes an idea can come from even a guitar riff. An idea can come from even just meeting you today, and maybe you said something that sparked something in me as a creative, and I was like, okay, let me create something around this. So it's like there are probably 1,000 ways of how music gets created from scratch. So it all depends on all these small things. Sometimes you're stressed, sometimes you're happy, then you write your music. So yeah.
Okay, I have a question that I've been really wanting to ask. Where did Sauti Sol get its name from?
Good question. So when we started singing, so first of all, we are 4 of us, right?
Yes.
So the other 3, apart from myself, were in the same high school.
Oh.
And in that high school, that's Upper Hill School,
Okay.
I went to Strathmore. So in high school, there was a group in Upper Hill that was called Voices in the Light.
Oh.
So Voices in the Light, it was a group, and the 3 of them were part of the group. It was a group of like 6 or 7 people. Then after high school, we met. So we started singing, the 4 of us. And our first name was called just Sauti. That's how we were known. Sauti. Sauti means voice, of course, Swahili. So as we were playing in weddings, birthdays, small gigs, we now started recording, and then we realized there's so many bands and things called Sauti. Like that time it was like, you'd find there's like 3 bands called Sauti. One is from Tanzania, another is from Uganda. There's an NGO called Sauti. Like Sauti was just everywhere. Yeah. So our manager at that time was Kenyan Swedish guy called Wawesh. And he's the one who suggested, like, yeah, why don't we add SOL, Sol, which is Latin for sun. And
it's
sun,
also in French.
Even French, yeah, Soleil. Yeah. So Latin is the mother of all these languages.
Yeah.
So Sol, now he suggested Sol. And it sounds good, it's Sauti Sol. It's like two names.
But when I was small, I used to think it was Sol, like...
Yeah, everyone thought it was Sol, S-O-U-L. Many times, many people made mistakes in the beginning when they're booking us or writing emails. It was always Sauti Sol. But for us, it's Sauti Sol, like S-O-L. And now the Sol is sun, which sun brings light, which now also takes us back to the name that we had in high school, which was Voices in the Light.
Do you think that things would still be normal if you picked Sol, like
S-O-U-L?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So with the names, I've realized, by the way, it's what you make out of it. Because if you look back, any successful name or business, I don't know, let's think of what... Amazon. I'm sure the person who said the name Amazon in the beginning was like, what, Amazon? Like, that's a weird name, Amazon. But now the branding has been done so well over the years that you're so used to it. And the first thing that comes to you when you say Amazon is not the forest. Yeah. It's the, the whatever, the business.
Yeah. Apple or Android?
Apple.
Why?
Because being a musician, I use Logic Pro, which is on MacBook, and now I sync everything with my iPhone and my MacBook, so that everything is in one place.
Okay. What did you say is your favorite instrument?
Funny enough, it's not the instrument that I play. As much as I love the guitar, my favorite instrument that I don't want to play, but I just love it, is the trumpet.
Oh, I can play the trumpet.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I still can.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
it's just been a long time.
I love the trumpet so much, but I cannot even dare to try and start learning it. I just feel it's a lot.
If there was any record you'd be known for breaking, what would it be?
Oof. That I'd want to be known for breaking.
Yeah. Or that you know that you could
that I could
break.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Let me see. I can go forever without eating meat.
Are you
I don't know if that's a
vegetarian?
record. I am, yes.
No, that's not a record.
I know. It's a lifestyle, yeah, but there are many people who cannot go. The people cannot go even one day. I can maybe produce 30 songs in a day.
That's a record.
Yeah.
So now I think we've come to the end of the podcast. Sadly, good things have to come to an end.
Unfortunately.
So the most important part of the podcast, apart from all the questions I've asked, is knowing how people like you can help the people who are viewing.
Yeah.
So most important question of the podcast is, what would you advise people who want to get into music?
Professionally, right? Because there's different ways of getting into music. It could be a hobby or it could be professional.
People who just want to do music.
Professionally?
Yes.
Okay. I would say, the cliche thing that we always hear is talent is such a small percentage of what it takes to be successful and take it professionally. So if you want to take music professionally, you have to really set structures. It's not just about the art. The admin work is probably 70% of the work you need to put in. So you could have all the talent in the world, but you don't have a proper structure, you don't have a proper plan, strategy, and all of that. And then number 2 is always want to be better every day in your craft. And especially when you're young and you have time. I always tell younger people than me who are getting into music, you have so much time that you don't even know. Because once you start adulting at the level of adulting that we are in, literally there's absolutely no time. So you'd want to at least have all that skill, get to a certain level where now as you're older, of course you squeeze and find time as much as you can, but you don't have the same time that you did. So time is the most valuable thing, is actually time, more than anything. And just be patient that things are going to, there's no hurry in looking for, so success is not a destination. It's not somewhere where you say, that's where I want to go, then you go there and then you stop because it's a destination. No, it actually feels so much less than what you thought it would feel like. You're like, oh, I've won a Grammy, and then you win it, and then you're like, okay, so what next? Working. You shouldn't say that. So just to keep moving, keep going, and just use your time very wisely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you for letting me come here to your studio. It's a very nice place for those of you who might not.
This is Amp. It's called Amp Studio, by the way. Yes.
It's a really nice place.
It is.
So thank you for having me and the rest
of
the crew coming here. I hope that you guys got inspired, because I don't think of it.
No, you're not. And thank you for blessing me. You're doing an amazing job. You are so eloquent. I'm telling you, this is a gift that you have. So it's not everyone that, it's not even, others can't even do what you're doing. So you're doing great. Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in, for listening or watching. So I'd advise to go get the books. If parents are watching this to see if my podcast is family friendly, please go and get your children the books. They're very interesting, colorful, and basically just they bring in, they're fun to read. If you haven't listened to their music already, or the older kids, if you haven't, what are you doing with your life? And go and listen.
How dare you?
If you want to do music, just remember what he said and don't give up.
Yes.
So yeah, that's also advice for me because I also want to become a musician.
Ah, great.
So
see you on the other side.
I hope you've learned something from today, and yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Next time.
Bye.
Bye.